Previously on Tales of Arise, the party took the starship to Lenegis, but they found that the residential areas suffered massive damage due to the satellite's transformation. They also took the time to ask the citizens for second-hand information about the Lord's backstories and motivations. Later they ran into Faria, who refused to forgive Dohalim for killing Tarnigan in the Crown Contest qualifiers. Soldiers.
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to I am Lord Dohalim of Elderman. Shia, I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one. Its armor's too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest!
There's too many of these guys. Fuck.
I'll smash you!
Freeze Lancer!
Demon Fang!
Astral arts?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
It's time! Hurricane! Searing Gale! Dohalim! In an instant! Impact Cross!
Illuminate!
Not a chance!
Hold on! None shall chain between heaven and earth.
Thunderfang!
Going in!
Thunderfang! Try harder! My turn!
Now!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
A giant mantis? Not cool. Grape shell? Alright, big green version of the previous Mantis boss. And like a lot of our enemies here, it's weak to light and resistant to dark. Yeah, make sure only one person is doing melee, since it would be very inefficient otherwise.
Try harder! Not a chance! Time to cross!
What's that? Thunderfang seems to be a decently fast light-based attack, so it is pretty useful in this section of the game where there are so many dark enemies.
Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
It's kind of strange. Shionne actually has a light spell despite being a Renan. Is it because she's the maiden? Yeah, that must be it. Maybe she gets a similar deal where she's allowed to control elements she wouldn't usually have. Kind of like how Volron actually did use both light and dark in his boss battle.
Searing Gale!
Sadly, I don't think Alphen can use dark.
Thunder!
Snake of the abyssal deep, clear for us a path!
Thunder!
Snake of the abyssal deep, clear for us a path!
Man, Dohalim will just heal yourself already, man. Oh well, just need to use my boost whenever possible just to keep the enemy down as long as possible. It's the safest way to win.
In here! Freeze Lancer! I'll be saving
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Interrupt the charge and keep attacking. Someone heal me already. Seriously. I can't do my big boosted flame attacks otherwise.
Behold! The Earth pulse!
Mostly Mystic Arts feel kind of underwhelming compared to the damage potential of boosted flame attacks.
Demon Fang!
Heaven and Earth!
Die!
Wailing
Demon
Wind,
Fang!
lightning! Piercing divine saving! Now for some Freeze Lancer!
Burn in hell!
Air Cone!
Rising Wyvern! Rising Trident!
Haven't used this one in a long time.
Now!
Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high demand if that's the case.
Hey, that wasn't too bad since it didn't have any minions like the original counterpart. Shortcake recipe. Pineapple gel?
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
Regenerative crystal. Another regenerative crystal, but they're not very high level. That's unfortunate. Oh, that one's a good level, even though it was a small looking crystal. Red Sage. Gold.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Dahnan. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds, but neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dahna. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
Urban Historia?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shionne.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shionne. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dahnan astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dahna's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shionne, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dahna from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dahna or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
So they really do have an Urban Historia-like system. I wonder if they'd use it to show what the other lords were like, or maybe show us how Volron became the Sovereign. Yeah, seems the Urban Historia is their system is pretty much their way of avoiding having to write empty mask, an empty mask manga for everyone.
Faria,
How did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
Well, I thought it became the Renas Alma. What? Why should she have a separate one? Can they just mass produce those?
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control Zeugles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
What the? Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handled the Zeugles. Then we get some answers. Exploit the enemy's double demon fang!
Magic is there! Hear me!
Ignite!
Okay, yeah, this enemy can teleport, so if it does, you should try to stay away from your allies so that they don't get caught up in the follow-up attack that always happens.
Double demon fang!
Shooting star! Too much to handle? Healing circle! Between heaven and earth! Blah, blah, blah!
Seems to, even though most bosses are supposed to focus on the player character, this one seems to be going after the other party members instead. Weird.
This one keeps charging up!
It has its own charging attack too.
Good! I'll leave it to you! Double demon fang! You picked the wrong fight!
Knock it down whenever I can. Big burning phoenix, rising phoenix.
Double demon I'm ready! Dohalim! In an instant! Impact claw! Bestow thy double demon! I'll smash you! Thunder fang!
Allow me to help.
Thunder!
Between heaven and earth!
Rising wyvern!
Okay, now it's an over limit. I don't think much changes other than it just spamming its moves way more aggressively.
Being interrupted.
Yeah, I accidentally let Dohalim get too close.
Double demon fang!
Glacial spear! Here's the... Evo! I'll be saving this one!
Double demon fang!
Thunderblade! Too much to handle? I'm only getting between heaven
Double
and earth!
demon fang!
Not gonna even borrow Kisara's boost attack while it's an over limit.
Lightning to death! Here, let me help with the doctor! First aid! Hear me! Flame of fury!
Resonate with the earth.
That was a close one. For Dohalim, that is.
Burn in hell!
I
can carve through armor!
between heaven and earth!
demon
Blah,
fang!
blah, blah, magic! I'll heal you all!
Incineration! We got him on the run!
Don't get cocky!
Can't tell if Incineration Wave actually did decent damage there. Might have missed, I don't know.
Illuminate the you do the same for me! Blah, blah, blah! Healing now!
Double demon fang! It's wide open!
That was close. It was about to kill Dohalim.
Breath of life. Heal my weary companion.
Double demon fang! Eat dirt!
Cure.
It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone! Double demon fang!
A chain between heaven and earth! Freezing storm! Sleep now!
Double demon fang!
Alright, keep attacking you while it's an over limit. Since it doesn't have too much range compared to some previous bosses, it's actually safe to do this, I think.
Dohalim! In an instant! Impact claw!
Now it's just her! Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shionne, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Calaglia was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shionne.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
What What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dahna's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
The thorns.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shionne's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dahna.
But the will of Dahna is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions, I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dahna's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dahna's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shionne's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dahna might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dahna's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Are you walking automatically?
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shionne's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens.
Turn back for the time being.
Just need a little time first. I want to make sure I go into whatever comes next completely prepared.
Okay, do we get a quick travel point, though? We don't? Lame. That's very lame. Very unfair.
Soon, I have to be ready to face anything.
Only way is forward.
Determined to save Shionne and Dahna. Nothing I learn can change that.
What? But so are they locking me in or not? So inconsistent. That's so just a weird design choice. Yeah, I can still teleport back to the civilian park zone.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
An operating table. Many subjects undoubtedly never came back alive from their operations on this.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Dahnan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Dahnan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Course. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
Whoa, Volron.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only Sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Renan and rule over Renan and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Renan. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Renan. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Only 2 Sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah. We wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Select topic. That's a lot of topics per terminal. Lords. Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. The ranked or tenured are a grand level 3 authority, as well as one of the 5 elemental realms to administer, and its corresponding master core. They're also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude. Other variables such as age have no bearing whatsoever. Because only the strongest go on to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out a master core's powers. All Renans must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Furthermore, in the event that an acting lord is incapacitated and can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. Unique Adjustment Index Test Subject Report. The following is a report on a second successful case of sovereign test subject experimentation. Test subject 10,105. Given name Volron. Although the subject possesses high latent potential, exhibits significant mental instability along with strong distaste for following orders. As such, the risk it poses surpass even those of the last successful subject, itself a failure, and is therefore under consideration for disposal. Addendum, this is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated to establish control protocols. Subjects to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and will be dispatched to Dahna under the guise of serving as a lord. So they basically send him down as a lord to keep him busy, so he doesn't screw anything up. Master cores. Master cores are instruments of power containing astral energy that belongs to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these master cores, those with earth, water, fire, wind, and light, are loaned to Renan lords at the time of the crown contest. Only the dark master core is maintained inside the Forbidden Zone until the Renas Alma is ready to be reformed, its existence kept top secret. Underneath a master core's spherical outer layer is the force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in a dormant state. For the duration of their tenure, each lord competes in the crown contest to master a allotted type of astral energy. In the event of emergency, each lord may be allowed to withdraw from their respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Addendum 1. Design flaws have been discovered in how Renas Alma materializes. Be advised that active master cores may resonate with other master cores located in close proximity and become unstable. Addendum 2. Due to the successful regeneration of the Renas Alma, master cores will cease to be deployed and the crown contest will be permanently halted. That addendum was added very recently, wasn't it? Spirit cores. Spirit cores are the end terminals used for a collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, it establishes connections throughout its body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means that Dahnans must be employed to harvest the astral energy for the purpose of the crown contest. Given the difficulty in producing them, it is advised that spirit cores be retrieved from host bodies and reused upon their death. Spirit cores can also be embedded in Zeugles to control them via astral arts. Addendum. Increased physical load in the host body tends to produce increased astral energy emissions. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on host bodies without inducing death for maximum astral energy yields is still pending. Strange. They never put the spirit cores on the Renans themselves. Do they not produce it in the same way? Lenegus. A large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the elemental composition of Dahna's astral energy and transmits it to Renan. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign, Maiden, and Renas Alma within the central core of Lenegus. It is comprised of classified and essential personnel residence zones around a large conduit, along with a defensive layer surrounding them. The outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as the stabilization mechanism. Due to this design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to the residential zones. However, because that only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan to address said damage is needed. Until then, Lenegus serves as a central base of operations for the management and the execution of the crown contest on Dahna. Warning, any personnel with level 3 or lower authority or lower is strictly forbidden from the classified zone. Any violators will be immediately executed. Detachable Harvester. The Wedge, a massive spirit vessel placed on Dahna for the spirit channeling ceremony. It serves as the tip of Lenegus' conduit from which it separates. Upon landing in Dahnan waters, it extends 2 sets of conducting pathways. The vertical pathways connect to the center of Dahna. Meanwhile, the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Dahna. Once activated, it links to the biological spirit vessels placed in each realm, efficiently harvesting the planet's astral energy en masse. The accumulated energy is then transmitted to Renan via Lenegus. Because construction and adjustment to take place in the Forbidden Zone's regular area, Lenegus' outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface with it when necessary. No other personnel is required for it to function. Addendum 1. The Touchable Harvester 1 was lost on Dahna after exploding due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. So they did this before. Detachable Harvester 2's landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. Wait, do we ever see the first Harvester? This is the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easier connections to the center of Dahna. Yeah, there's just info dumping here, huh? Sedative mask. A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized, particularly as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended, as prolonged use of the device carries the risk of inducing a number of adverse side effects. Addendum. Due to the loss of production facilities incurred from the partial destruction of letting gas, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. Brainwashing report. After reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Dahna's water realm, a study was made commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. The system was unique in that it elevates only the Lord as the supreme authority while relegating both Renans and Dahnans alike to enslavement. Test subject 10105 serves as the realm's current Lord, and has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or special devices. Or it was done so by sheer governance. Given this method's effectiveness of population control, monitoring of the situation will continue. Addendum 1. Collapse of cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression rooted in violence and fear have proven to be the key to this style of rule. Violence and fear. But still, how did he do it to an entire population? Probably he would have to start by brainwashing the soldiers by using fear and violence on them, so that they will use fear and violence on everyone else. That's the only way that really makes sense, because one dude can't do it all by himself, given the size of the realm, right? Once the subject loses autonomy, it becomes desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, it remains as an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and slaves for manual labor. Addendum 2. Soldiers and Legacy who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sectors as a trial. These results will be monitored. So he tortured those soldiers here into guarding the Forbidden Zone. Showing Lenegis' structures. You can see pipes for transporting astral energy sticking out of them. That's it. Showing the room's equipment. It hasn't been used in a long time. A notice. This area will now be shut down as the project proceeds to the final phase. The Sovereign. Level 2 of 40 and an ID crest. So wait, lower numbers are better, right? Dahn's subject serves as the base of its creation. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period, and stability is still not guaranteed for those who survive it. The instability, coupled with the Sovereign's powers of astral manipulation, pose a high risk to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the Sovereign in a spirit channeling ceremony. Them too, no effective alternate methods to perform the ceremony have been found. Trials on the Dahnan subjects are authorized to continue. Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. So, if Volron was originally a Dahnan, he's somewhat able to use spells. Was that due to the Sovereign experiments, or maybe because he might have come from the same clan as Rinwell, or descended from the same clan distantly? In that case, why can't Alphen use spells? Maiden. The Maiden acts as a Sovereign support mechanism for a spirit channeling ceremony. Also level 2 authority. The Renan subject serves its functions, providing the Sovereign with the supplemental dark astral energy it lacks in tandem with the Renans Alma. During the ceremony, it is partly responsible for astral energy conversion, as well as maintaining stability over the Sovereign's own powers. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between it and the Sovereign has been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. Because of this, the trial activations of the Sovereign without the Maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the Sovereign nor the Maiden are to be informed about the details of the spirit channeling plan. Addendum 1. Mental instability in the Maiden has been deemed the cause of the past Sovereign's rampancy. Countermeasures must be considered. Addendum 2. In light of the planned adjustments, this current subject will have its Maiden registration revoked and be returned to its original household. Return to the original household? I thought they would have done something to her to, or maybe killed her to prevent her from leaking any information, or maybe they just wiped her memories and just sent her back on her way. That's probably what happened. Otherwise, she would have maybe organized her own, revealed the truth, and got everyone to turn against this whole plan, huh? Grape gel. Equipment for monitoring subjects. It probably had a failure disposal mechanism as well. A room unchanged over 3 centuries. It's like time itself has stopped here. Life bottle.
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dahna. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lennigus will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lennigus.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lennigus crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me. It made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Plant, are these herbs that we can use to buff our stats? I guess not. Weird. Heavy treat. Thanks for tuning in to this Let's Play of Tales of Arise. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and or hit the bell icon.